So today we're going to be taking down my biggest terrarium. So no, unfortunately this video isn't clickbait. So I'm taking this enclosure down because unfortunately last week we lost Bert. I hate making these videos because they're always horrible. It's hard enough to lose an animal, but then to have to tell you guys, because I know a lot of you get attached to the animals as well. It's a horrible situation to be in, but he had a long life. He was about 7 years old. And he was slowing down for quite a while. We haven't been putting him in videos for much longer. Like I said, when I moved into this room, I wanted him to retire into this enclosure, and we probably weren't going to do too much around him because for the last year he sort of slowed down a little bit and started to show signs of age. But he made his final trip up to his basking spot, which I've just removed, and I found him there, still stood up, holding onto the branch under his basking spot, unfortunately. So he is no longer with us, but I could leave this terrarium up and I could add something else in there. It doesn't feel right. Plus, I'm probably going to be moving out into the garden at some point as well. And this is probably not the strongest of structures. It'll probably end up with leaks and I'll have to do some repairs. And I don't really like the way it is. I think if I had a chameleon again, I'd probably have a wider setup as well. So we're taking this down today. Not as great as the news. I didn't want to release this as the first video of 2022. But I suppose we need to carry on. We've got other animals to look after, other things to focus on, but it doesn't make it any easier. So I've managed to remove a lot of the old branches, already removed the plants and sort of quarantined those, cleaned them off. But we've managed to remove the substrate, and I've also taken the drainage layer out. Now, one of my concerns, and part of the reason why I didn't want to keep this enclosure, other than the fact it doesn't seem right to leave another animal in here, that I didn't think that it would survive moving, but as you can see, it does hold water, like we sort of designed it for. Whether that'll be the case now, because all the plastic sheeting are hidden behind expanding foam, if there was a leak, it'd probably be unrepairable. And I don't even know whether I'll get it down the stairs. So we'll probably strip this down now and we'll focus on something else. Not quite yet, I don't really like to replace animals. But we need to get the water out of here. I'm gonna try and salvage out anything I can from here, the branches, the cork, anything else. There's a couple of plants left up there, which I'll probably turn into houseplants. And yeah, let's get this stripped down. So we've managed to get most of the way through. I managed to clear most of this off. It was a lot easier than I thought. It probably looks a lot easier in the time lapses than it actually was to actually break this down. But I've got a bit of digging to do, a bit of the foam just to get the last bits off. But I also got a bit of cleaning to do. Got a lot of wood out of there and the room is a tip. So I've got a little bit to get on with, but why didn't we just take a look back at our time with Bert while I do that? So Bert's enjoying his bit of grub. Enjoying that, Bert? What do you think of your new home, Bert? So like I mentioned earlier, it's horrible making these videos. It's horrible going through a death of an animal just in general. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that because you do grow quite attached to them. And the problem is when they're so personable like animals like Bert, it's hard not to grow an attachment. But I suppose that's why we're in this hobby. That's why we care about the animals so much and their welfare. But we've managed to strip down his tank now. What I want to do is just break obviously down the mesh cage itself as well, take the stand down. I'm probably going to paint the wall just to freshen it up a little bit because I am probably going to put the new racking system from last week's video in that space. So still a little bit of work to do. So we've cleared it out. So it does look really empty in here just because obviously Bert was a massive part of the channel. Obviously the enclosure took physically a lot of space up anyway. But we're in a new year and I suppose a new chance to clean start. Obviously we paint a little bit, tidy things up. And I've got some shelving in here with some aquascapes in mind. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. But I wanted to dedicate this video to Bert because he's been on the channel for such a long time, ever since we began. He was the first video I ever released on this channel by its enclosure. I'll leave a link in the description as well for the playlist with all the videos containing Bert in it if any of you are interested. But a good clear out. Obviously we're setting up for 2022 now. We've got plenty of plans coming. A lot of things moving around in this room to make space for new enclosures and new animals, so don't miss out on that. Make sure you hit that notification bell. But other than that, if you could drop this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video.